The camera fades in from black. A soft echo of audience laughter fades under the sound of tension, words clashing like sparks. The crowd that once smiled is now silent. It's one of those moments on live television that can never be taken back. Tonight, we're diving into the unbelievable confrontation that unfolded right in front of millions. When Bill Maher, the host known for his sharp wit and unapologetic candor, went head-to-head with Meghan Markle, and ended it all with a phrase that echoed through every corner of social media, "You're done here." Welcome to Story Vault, where truth meets the fire of controversy, and the stories you think you know are only the beginning. It was supposed to be a polished, thoughtful evening, another episode of Bill Maher's Real Time. The audience, full of anticipation, expected humor, maybe a little politics, and the occasional jab at celebrity culture. But no one, not even the crew, expected the episode to turn into one of the most talked-about moments in modern live TV. When Meghan Markle walked onto the stage, the applause was immediate and thunderous. She smiled, poised and confident, radiating the same regal charm that once captivated millions. Bill Maher greeted her with his signature half-grin, polite, but wary. From the very first handshake, it was clear, this was going to be more than just an interview. It was going to be a test. Bill opened with light humor, a few quips about Hollywood, a sprinkle of politics, and a nod to her life after royalty. Meghan laughed gracefully at first, choosing her words carefully, her tone smooth and measured. But as the conversation deepened, the tension began to bubble beneath the surface. Maher leaned forward, his voice steady yet challenging. "So, Meghan, a lot of people feel like you've distanced yourself from the public that once adored you. You wanted privacy, but now you're in the spotlight again, podcasts, interviews, documentaries. Isn't that contradictory?" Meghan blinked, a flicker of discomfort breaking her otherwise perfect composure. She smiled, then countered, "Wanting to have control over your story isn't hypocrisy, Bill. It's survival." The audience gave a soft murmur of approval, but Maher wasn't done. "Sure, but don't you think constantly revisiting that story, about the royals, the media, the system, makes it look like you're feeding the same machine you claim to escape?" That's when the room began to shift. Meghan straightened her back, her voice sharpening. "You think I owe silence to people who tried to destroy me? I'm using my voice because so many others couldn't." Applause broke out, but Maher's expression hardened. His eyes didn't waver. He leaned back and let the silence linger, his smirk returning slowly. "But at some point, Meghan, people stop listening when the message turns into a performance." The laughter that followed wasn't kind, it was uneasy. The audience didn't know whether to clap or gasp. Meghan's eyes flashed, her jaw tightened. She spoke with precision now, her tone icy. "Bill, it's easy for someone in your seat to call it a performance. You've never been hunted by the press. You've never had your family destroyed in headlines." Maher didn't flinch. "True. But I also didn't build a career out of reminding people I was." The crowd erupted. Some cheered, others groaned. It was chaos, an emotional thunderstorm caught on camera. The director reportedly tried signaling to cut to commercial, but both guests stayed locked in the moment. Meghan turned toward him fully now, no longer smiling. "Maybe the reason you're saying this," she said, "is because powerful women make men like you uncomfortable." Maher's laugh was sharp and cold. "No, Meghan. It's because powerful women don't need to keep proving they're victims." That was it. The air cracked like lightning. The tension was unbearable. Meghan pushed her chair back, the scrape audible even over the audience's shocked murmurs. "I don't have to sit here and be disrespected on national television," she snapped. The studio audience froze. The cameras kept rolling. Maher looked straight into the lens, voice steady but cutting. "You're done here, Meghan." The silence that followed was absolute. Then, in a single motion, Meghan Markle stood, removed her mic, and walked off the stage. The audience gasped. Some applauded, others booed. Bill Maher remained seated, composed but visibly rattled. He turned to the audience and said, "Well, that escalated quickly." It became one of the most replayed clips of the year. Social media exploded within minutes. The words, "You're done here," trended on every major platform. Clips of Meghan's exit flooded Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Supporters and critics drew digital battle lines, some praising her for standing up for herself, others calling it an overreaction. Within hours, news outlets from Los Angeles to London had the story front and center. Bill Maher kicks Meghan Markle off live show, read one headline. Tension boils over as Meghan storms out of interview, wrote another. Behind the scenes, production assistants whispered that Maher was furious, not because of the argument, but because the chaos had overshadowed the entire show. Some crew members said Meghan's exit was the most dramatic moment in real-time history. Days later, a clip surfaced from an off-camera moment. Bill Maher, still seated, could be heard saying, "She came here to make a point, not to have a conversation." Others on the set claimed Meghan had felt ambushed. According to one insider, she thought it was going to be a friendly interview. But Bill pushed her buttons, and she snapped. The internet turned into a battlefield of opinions. On one side, fans applauded Meghan for standing up against what they saw as another instance of public humiliation. On the other, critics argued she was trying to control the narrative and couldn't handle real criticism. And as the debate raged, the clip continued to rack up millions of views. Some dubbed it the moment Meghan finally lost her composure. Others called it the night Bill Maher crossed the line. In the following week, both camps released statements. Maher's team said, the discussion was intended to be open and respectful. Sometimes conversations take unexpected turns. Meghan's representatives, meanwhile, said, no one should tolerate public disrespect disguised as discussion. For weeks, talk shows and podcasts analyzed every second of the footage, her tone, his smirk, the timing of her walkout. Even body language experts weighed in, breaking down gestures frame by frame. One viral clip from a fan account slowed the footage to show Meghan's final look, a half-turn, an unspoken glare before disappearing backstage. It became symbolic, a meme, and even an emblem of online debates about power, pride, and public perception. But beyond the drama, one thing became clear: this wasn't just another celebrity argument. It was a collision of two worlds, the unfiltered bluntness of a veteran host, and the unwavering sensitivity of a figure who had been both worshipped and vilified by the public eye. By the time the next episode aired, Maher opened with a wry grin and said, "Welcome back. Tonight, we'll try not to kick anyone off." The audience laughed, but the shadow of that night still lingered. As for Meghan, she reportedly cancelled her next media appearance and took a step back from public interviews for a while. Yet, in silence, her following only grew stronger. Her defenders called her the embodiment of grace under fire, her critics, the queen of overreaction. The truth probably lives somewhere between. Because moments like these, unscripted, raw, and uncomfortable, expose something rare in modern media. They remind us that even the most polished personalities can crack under pressure, that even the most experienced hosts can misjudge the tone, and that live television remains one of the last places where the unpredictable can still shock the world. And maybe, just maybe, that's why this story continues to burn across screens and timelines. Because for every viewer, there's a different villain, a different hero, and a different version of what it means to be done here. This is Story Vault, where we don't just tell the story, we open the vault on the truth behind it. Stay tuned, because tomorrow's story might just rewrite what you thought you knew.